with Gaia Force Gaming, and today I am here with my friend David Roman, who just went undefeated in our weekly webcam series. David, if you want to maybe introduce yourself, talk about what got you into the game a little bit, and what you played.
Like Tyler said, I'm David Roman. I'm a local here with Tyler. Pretty much been playing since he got into the game. He actually pulled me into the game. I've been playing on and off for a little bit towards the beginning, and then towards the end of BT5, I started going super hard into it, learning matchups and stuff like that. And then when he started doing the Monday nights, I just kind of played him like an addict.
Yeah. So yeah, we do on our Discord host a weekly series. It caps at 32 players usually, and we usually hit the cap just every Monday on our Gaia Force Gaming Discord. We have a friendly little competitive tournament, and David does play in a lot of them. And this week was our first BT4, English BT4 meta tournament, and he played green OTK, right? The OTK variant.
Yeah.
I guess they call it OTK, but it's not quite OTK in Digimon, but it's still pretty backbreaking.
Yeah, it does the job. It does what it needs to do to essentially be an OTK deck.
Alrighty, so if you want to get started, let's talk about your eggs and why you chose what you chose, and we'll move on from there.
So the eggs, I went with 4 Budmon and 1 Modimon. The reason I like the Budmons is not only does it let you get the boost on Grand Kawagamon, which is the main combo piece of the deck, but it also lets you go boost the Lilamons, which are in the deck as well, so that they can beat over essential 7K level 5s like War Greymons and stuff like that. Modimon is just there to essentially boost up the Grand Kawaga and the Chaosmons, so that for one, Grand Kawaga can hit over 11Ks like War Greymons, and Chaosmons can beat over other Chaosmons, whether it's the Valdararm or whatever. So that's pretty much why I went with those two.
Awesome.
Because they're just static 1Ks on your biggest things.
And how often do your eggs actually stay on your Digimon?
Unless I'm going into a Chaosmon, the eggs are usually the ones that I Digiburst last.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. You want to talk about your rookies now?
Yeah, the rookies are kind of standard. If you want to run this deck, you have to run 4 of the Pomo Prowlmons, just because they give jamming to your boss monsters, and it's kind of essential if you want to go with an OTK. The only thing you're really losing to is option cards. Gaia Force and Kikaitis Burst are probably your worst enemies, but even then, it's not the worst in the world. But Palmon's definitely essential. Then I went with 4 Tentomon. It's just essentially a green Goblimon in the deck. It draws you a card. It lets you fix your hand, essentially. Sometimes it doesn't work the way you want it to. Like, sometimes you'll hit a Mimi. Sometimes you'll hit a Needle Spray. But most of the time, you're drawing a card off this.
Very cool.
Next, we got 2 Argomon just for the cheap Digivolution, and 2 Lilamon. I went with the 2 Lilamon over 4, because, yeah, it's good for the Digiburst, but you're just recycling it if you're Digibursting it, so you don't really need more than 2. So I replaced it with 2 of the Vanillas just to get that cheap rookie out. And then the last of my rookies, I have 2 Terriermon. The memory stopping rookies are pretty much essential with how much War Greymon is running around, and Blinding Ray, Hammer Spark, Patamons, even Chaosmon too. All of those things just get shut down by Terriermon, and you need to have it. In whatever deck you're playing, you need to have those at least one or two of the rookies that stop memory gain.
Gotcha. All right, so that's 14 level 3s?
Yeah, 14 level 3s.
Cool.
I went a little high because, you need the rookies to get the draw power.
I don't think that's high at all. I think that's pretty standard.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. Some people think it's high. How about your level 4s?
Right. So, Champion Zone. 2 Woodmon, 4 Kabuterimon blockers, 3 Kabuterimon, the other one that boosts DP for suspended, and 3 Vegemon. I went a little heavy on the blockers because I wasn't sure what kind of matchups I was going with. I just wanted to be safe, and just running more blockers just kind of keeps you, because you're trying to assemble the OTK, and just having a bunch of blockers allows you to play a little safer in the early turns if you can't get that 1-2 punch with the Chaosmon and Grand Quagamon.
Would you change that moving forward, or are you comfortable with that number of blockers?
I would be open for change, but I think that this is a safe number, because you're not going too heavy on the Woodmons, because you want to still keep your 1-cost Digivolutions at least 10, so you can just turbo into your Grand Kuaga, but still have enough to keep yourself safe against rushes.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
Yeah, so the level 4s are, other than that, are pretty standard. Veggie and Kabuterimon, 1 to evolve. They've been played in every green deck since Digimon came out. Don't really need to explain why they're good.
Well, what are your thoughts on Roachmon or even Gargomon over the Kabuterimon?
I haven't really tried out Roachmon. I mean, like, it's essentially a Repamon, right? Except the Digivolves for 1?
Yes. And it's also weaker. It's 3,000 DP, I believe.
3,000, but it's still 3 to play?
Yes.
I don't know yet. I'd have to do some playtesting. I don't know how well I would like that, because for your big stacks, you need to have 4 Digimon in the Digivolution stack.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can either Kabuteri twice, or Grand Kuaga twice, or go into a Nidhoggmon, which I'll explain about later.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of agree. I think Roachmon's for, like, the not Kuagamon build of this deck.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not good. It probably is really good, but it probably wouldn't be for this deck.
Gotcha. So what about your level 5s?
So level 5s, again, I was trying to play it safe, so I went with 4 Cherrymon, 2 Lilamon, and 2 Mega Kabuterimon.
So you have none of the Digisorption level 5s?
No, I do not. And my reasoning for running this way, so Cherrymon is the cheapest that you can play that's not Digisorption, other than, like, Rapidmon. But again, I was afraid of, like, keeping myself safe, so I went with the blocker over the Rapidmon, which is why I played a playset. The Mega Kabuterimon was kind of a last-minute addition, but my thought process with this is with the Inheritable to delete a security on destroying a Digimon, you're trying to do that anyway with Chaosmon. So if either A, you want to swing Grand Kuaga over a tapped Digimon, you still essentially get piercing without the backlash of having, like, an option come back in your face, and then still swing for 3 over another Digimon when you go into Chaosmon.
Okay.
So that's still 4 checks.
So you mean, like, don't Digiburst anything, just swing over something, get your inheritables, and then Digivolve to the Chaosmon to pass turn after you Digiburst before ending the turn?
Correct.
Cool. Very cool.
With Lilamon, I think she is essential in any version of green.
I agree.
I have won games by just keeping a Lilamon in the nursery, just as a Lilamon, and just saying, if you don't put out 2 blockers, you lose, because I'm going to bring out the Lilamon, Digiburst 2, tap your blocker, and swing for game.
Yeah. Cool. How'd you feel about 8 level 5? I mean, Digiburst or not aside, did you feel like that was enough?
There was, like, maybe one game where I wish I had seen a level 5 early, but I think that the Tentomon, having it that at 4, makes running the risk of 8 level 5s worth it, because you're using a Gabumon to draw a card and cycle through your deck. That's just what the deck does. It turbos out through your deck and churns through. You'll eventually hit your level 5.
Yeah. I mean, I think 8's still a good number. I was just wondering, because I know, like, me personally, I feel like 9's the sweet spot.
I actually did have 9, but I took it out for a 3rd needle spray, which I'll show in a second.
Okay. All right. So those are your level 5s. Did you give any consideration to the other 2 evolves? Like Lilymon, for example? I know there's a lot of people who still like Lilymon, but...
Yeah, so for the level 5s?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that Lilamon and Mega Kabuterimon just offer so much in their inheritables and their main effect that it's worth running the extra 3 to evolve. And if you're playing Mimis, having 3 to evolve isn't that backbreaking either.
Yeah. Okay. So what is... I feel like this is where all the green decks really differ. What's your level 6 lineup?
My level 6 lineup is 4 Grand Kuwagamons, because that's how you OTK, and 2 Nidhoggmon. So I'm running 6 level 6s.
I see you two are a man of culture. I think this is my exact lineup for my level 6s as well in my build.
Yeah, this is pretty much what I think is the right number to play after testing for a while. 2 Nidhogg is just enough to see them when you need them. And then you have a hidden potential in your hand, and it's just game over for your opponent. Especially if they're playing like Rookie Rush, or even just trying to early aggro you before you have a chance to get the combo out. You just drop a Nidhogg, and you just watch their soul leave their body. If they're not prepared for it.
Yes. But I mean, in Grand Kuwagamon, for anyone who doesn't know, just can steal games out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's just... I think he's probably one of my favorite green Digimon to be printed at all.
Alrighty. And then how many Chaosmon and what kind of Chaosmon do you run?
I'm running 3 of the regular Chaosmon just for the OTK. I don't think you need the Valderarm. It's good, but it's probably not for this deck. Probably more of a control variant with more Nidhoggs and like Ceres and stuff like that. This just wants to turbo out as many security as you can on the single turn as fast as you can, and this guy does the job.
Yeah. This guy's awesome. How many times did you get to hidden potential into Chaosmon for 1?
0, actually. The only time I actually used hidden potential last night was I had used a Tentomon to top deck a Nidhogg and then use that to clear a board.
Very cool.
Continue my turn.
Very cool. All right. Now, options and Tamers. What do we run?
All right.
What's the
So
move? The
options.
sauce.
Options is one hidden potential. You just need it because it's that good. And 3 needle sprays. Like I said before, I took out the 9th level 5 for a 3rd needle spray. And I don't regret it. Needle spray is just way too good.
Okay.
The ability to have it checked in security, tap a blocker, and then have it in your hand to tap another thing on the preceding turn is crazy.
Yeah, it's very strong. And then how about for your Tamers? Is it 2 or
Tamers,
3 Mimis?
I'm running 3 Mimis.
Oh, 3 Mimis.
Yes, 3 Mimis. I need to see them because a lot of my plays with the way that the deck is built relies on having 3 memory. Like going into Hercules, or not Hercules, Mega Kabuterimon or Lilamon, or even going into a 1-drop level 4 into a Cherrymon, into a Grand Kawagamon at 3. He's just, you need to have it. And then the shenanigans you can have with multiple Mimis, just as a surprise 1-2 punch where you can hit for a lot of security, then have Mimi, tap, bring out the rookie, swing for game.
Very cool. Very cool. I think this is a solid deck. How do you feel about green this format and where it stands?
Green, I think right now is probably in a better spot than it has been in the past 2 formats, just because the previous iterations of greens were more control oriented, where you had Titamon in BT1, and then you had Sarismon in 1.5. This just gives a more aggressive take on the green deck, and I think that's just my playstyle. And how I like to play is just beat you down as fast as possible. I tried doing it with Ragnalordmon, it just didn't click. I just like having it in green. I like playing green in 1 and 1.5. I just don't like playing control decks, I guess, because it never really clicked until the OTK variant of green.
When I was test playing different decks to see what I wanted to kind of go with, when I was playing green, I played a bunch of back-to-back games with it. It feels more like red, like 1.0 red than anything else did to me. Like it feels more so along how Omni Red played at the beginning of the game, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, I completely get where you're going with that. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's just it's essentially Turbo Grand Kawaga or Turbo Chaos if you want to play it like that.
Exactly. It's just a very aggressive, but not in a swing face kind of way. Just like you need to answer this or you lose.
Well, that's the best part of it is that by the time it's already done, like they've already lost all their security. They just need to answer 1 Digimon, or they lose.
Exactly.
If they don't have recovery, or if they don't have like a way to stabilize after you've done your OTK, if they let one thing through, it's over. Mm-hmm. And having multiple Mimis allows that to happen because you could just raise a rookie, hatch, play a rookie, bring it out, and then have another swinger, and it just steals games out of nowhere.
Very cool. So, what were your matchups? There were 5 rounds. What were some of the games that you felt this deck performed really well against? What are some decks you think this deck struggles against?
Let me see. If I can remember correctly, my first match was against Yellow. I believe it was Shine. With like a War Greymon variant in it too.
Okay.
So like played Shine, but also used like War Greymon as a top end too. That one, it wasn't terribly difficult because the moment that you get the OTK down, which I was able to get down both games, they just have to scramble for a defense like I was saying before, and that's pretty much how like a lot of my games went. Was if they don't have an answer after the OTK, then they just lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure about my round 2. Actually, maybe if I go back to this. But round 3 was against Max DePera, and he was playing a green variant as well. I wasn't sure if it was the OTK, but he like slammed Hercules Kabuterimon, and it was a back and forth. Like I almost lost the game 1 because he had just pierced through all of my stuff, and I wasn't prepared for it. Like I had blockers, but I can't block. It's got piercing.
Yeah, exactly. And that was in Japan before HPD got limited. It was more of the Hercules Kabuterimon variant.
Yeah, with like Nidhoggmons to clear boards and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Round 4 was against Black Metal Garurumon. With the value purple of being like Digiburst into Nailbone, then Matt, get your Nailbone back, Digiburst, Nailbone again, get 5 bodies on the board. That one was a little rough, but I, on his swings, I hit a Needle Spray in security, where he had 2 blockers, tap a blocker, pass to my turn, tap the other blocker, swing for game. And it was just, I think that under the right circumstances, purple has a better chance of beating this deck than any other deck I've played.
Okay.
It's the one that I'm most scared of this format.
Just the purple Metal super free stuff deck.
Yeah, like I will take everything and put it on the board.
Yeah, I really like that deck too. I think this format has a lot of really cool, really powerful decks.
Oh, most definitely. And then round 5 was against Wargreymon. That one I wasn't too worried about because I've been playtesting with my buddy Danny with the Yellow Wargreymon matchup, and if I hadn't played with him for the past like week with these decks, I probably wouldn't have figured out how to beat it, but you just have to make sure Wargreymon doesn't have security to use his effect, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I think green is a pretty good natural counter to the yellow strategy, this format. I know that it is what kept yellow in check in Japan as well. Even without hidden potential discovered, I think it does a pretty good job. If you are playing yellow, though, I think a tip that I saw a lot of people playing against Dave here didn't do, leave your Wargreymon unsuspended. Just attack once.
Yeah, being able to if you're playing against green and you are playing against this deck, an unsuspended Wargreymon is only dead to a Needle Spray or a Chaosmon.
Or or if you have like the crazy Lilamon set up, but it's like you have to do something to answer. If you leave it tapped, it's just gonna get killed.
Yeah, try to resist the urge to get that +1 to your hand.
Or Nidhogg.
Yeah, Nidhogg. Yeah, that's a big one too.
That's the last thing you want. But anyway, thank you for taking the time to do this little deck profile. I think green is super cool this format. Congrats on going 5-0. It's a pretty long tournament, 5 rounds. You gonna stick with green for a while this format? You trying other decks?
No, I am 100% all in on green.
Awesome. Did you want to do any shout outs or anything before we wrap this up?
Yeah, so me and my friends Danny and Floyd, we're starting to get a team together called Hidden Potential, and we're going to be doing some stuff with it in the future, so take a look out for that. Maybe like partner up with you and GFG to do some stuff. But yeah, look out for that in the future.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, I will see you around. Thanks again for coming. And yeah, if you guys want to ask him about Green or just Digimon in general, he's usually hanging out in our Discord server. I'll try to put a link in the description. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and we'll see you later, guys.